Brett Poling, and I am the director of the Piqua Civic Band here in Piqua, Ohio. And I also am an educator. I'm entering into my 27th year of education. I have been a music teacher, I have been a choir director, I have been a high school band director, and I'm currently technology and coordinator and assistant principal for St. Luke's School in Beaver Creek, Ohio. So I graduated from Piqua High School in 1991, and I went to elementary school at Washington Elementary, the old Washington Elementary, that no longer exists. But there I had some great music teachers who started me on my way. Mrs. Swank, Mrs. Haynes, Mr. Taylor came, I think, my 6th grade year for band, and then went through the junior high system and through Piqua High School. I attended the University of Dayton and studied music education, and while I was there I was involved in numerous ensembles, from classical to jazz to pop, and they made sure I got a well-rounded education in all those subjects for when I became a music teacher. I also hold 2 master's degrees from Wright State, one in educational technology and the other in educational leadership, with a focus on the principal licensure. So I got started in music fairly early on. I was encouraged to sing quite a bit before I even started school, and found that I enjoyed doing that and enjoyed listening to music. I think somewhere there's a photo of me at like age 3 with the big oversized headphones over my ears, falling asleep listening to a bunch of records, because that's something I did quite frequently. So I was involved in music very early on, and then once I got to schools, it became one of my favorite subjects, and enjoyed performing in the Christmas programs and spring programs, and eventually found myself in band and started on the trumpet when I was in 5th grade. I took private lessons with Mary Jo Morgan, who kind of got me started on my way in lessons on the trumpet. When I got to junior high, unfortunately I got braces, and that moved me off the trumpet because of the braces and trying to play, but that took me to the instrument that I play now, which is the euphonium, and that was my major instrument when I was in high school and then college. So you may not know, euphonium is like a tuba but slightly smaller, so a low brass instrument. So the experiences I had while I was in Piqua City schools shaped me towards wanting to become a music educator. When I was in high school, I was in the marching band along with other ensembles with Mr. Morgan as the director. And starting about my junior year, I started to express interest in becoming a music teacher. And so I began peppering him with questions about, well, how does this work? What do you do? How do you organize a band season? Things like that. And my senior year, he was very helpful in letting me see how drill was written, seeing how the rehearsals were run, and encouraging me to really look into becoming a band director, if not just a music teacher. On the other side of that, on the choir side, Mr. Kushwa, who is the choir director, also was very influential. He encouraged me to sing. I was in the high school musicals while I was at Piqua, and also I took the music theory class that he offered and began my first composition and arranging, which came in handy when I studied at the University of Dayton, where I took several composition courses with Dr. Philip Magnuson. So I got some experience there, which held me in good stead once I was out teaching, because I could write and arrange for my bands and my choirs as well. So the arts are very important in a community, and the performing arts are a way that people can gather for a period of time, and they can experience something that can only be done in time. You can't hear a Beethoven symphony in 2 minutes. You need to spend the entire time, the entire length of that piece of music and experience it together, and sometimes multiple times before you finally can appreciate it. And as the director of the Civic Band, I try to program music that the audience wants to hear, some music that maybe they have not heard before to stretch their ears a little bit, but hopefully that they'll come to appreciate, and also to give them a good time, to put on a good show that they can enjoy. And that's really important. Over the course of this past season, for example, we did a patriotic concert to kick off the season with the 4th of July. Our second concert was kind of a potpourri concert, spreading out to various styles, various pieces of music, various time periods. And then we did a Western concert with Main Street Piqua, which was a lot of fun downtown on the square. And again, that's community involvement, trying to find organizations that we can partner with to make those connections in town and give an experience to a wider group of people who might not necessarily come to a Civic Band concert, but they're coming to the Main Street Piqua event. And so we're engaging them there as well. So being involved in the community with a performing arts group is very important. Reaching those people, someone who may never have thought about attending a concert now gets a chance to experience something new, and hopefully bringing people who would have come to one of our events to an event like that as well. And then closing out the season, we did a Broadway concert, and we did a tribute to John Williams. And the last concert was our largest audience. I'm guessing we had about 250 people who attended that, and that was quite a thrill to perform that concert, but also the appreciation that the audience showed towards the band after that concert was great as well. I had been to numerous Piqua Civic Band concerts when I was younger, and not had a chance to play with the band while I was a student, but once I graduated from the high school and went to UD for studying music education, I got a phone call from Dick Alberts, and Dick had been the assistant band director at Piqua High School, and he invited me to come play euphonium with the Piqua Civic Band for that summer season between my freshman and sophomore years. And so I did, and I enjoyed it immensely. It's a very top-notch professional group, and it has to be. They show up on a Monday night, read through the concert, practice pieces maybe one time through, and that's it. And then Thursday night you put the show on. So you've got to be a very professional player, and I have to admit, when I was at that age, I wasn't yet a very professional player, but it helped me to grow and learn what I needed to do to become a team player within a band organization. Playing under Mr. Hance was phenomenal. He had so much knowledge and so much skill as a conductor, so I really looked up to him when I came into the band while I was in college, and he conducted all the way through the summer of 2000. So it was a great thrill to be playing in the band. As time went on, I continued to play in the band. Actually met my wife playing in the band. She's a clarinetist and continues to play to this day as well. In 2005, I was given the opportunity to conduct a half concert. At that time, I was working at Lima Central Catholic High School up in Lima, Ohio. And I had been the band director there for a few years, and they were looking for a way to expand the guest conductors that they had been using after Mr. Hance had passed away. So I did a half concert in 2005 along with Phil Chilcote, who's the director of the Sydney Band. He did the other half of that concert. And so we did that, and the next year I got invited back for another concert, and it kind of stayed that way until 2015, when the board voted to make me the permanent conductor of the Civic Band. So I've held that position since 2015, and it's really something that I enjoy doing. I enjoy putting together the programs and helping to spread that music to the community. So attending events such as a Civic Band concert or a symphony concert or an opera or a musical play, it's that chance to be part of a larger community who's experiencing something that is fresh, that's new, that's alive, that feeling of anything can happen. I really enjoy attending concerts with the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra at Music Hall in Cincinnati, which is a gorgeous place to experience a concert. They just renovated it. I enjoy also hearing the Dayton Philharmonic at the Schuster Center. But when you go to one of those events, you are one person in a crowd, and the crowd feeds off the energy of the performers, and the performers in turn feed off the energy of that crowd. It may seem to be subdued when you attend a quote-unquote classical concert, but the energy is still there. You go to a rock concert and it's a little more palpable than a concert that is classical in nature. But it really is a building of community between the performers and the audience as the concert goes on. The arts are a great way to express a side of yourself that you may not have a chance to express in any other way. I will tell you, when I was in high school, I had two paths to choose. I could choose to become a music educator, which is the path I chose, but I also was being told to look into a career in engineering. And quite frankly, I think I probably could have been a really good engineer. My heart took me over towards the arts path. But I know many great people who are mathematicians, who are engineers, who are scientists, who also use the arts to express themselves in a way that they can't in their regular work. And I think that's really important. The arts in general, performing arts in particular, is a lifelong journey. It's a lifelong skill that you can do your entire life. You don't have to give it up. You can still continue to develop as an artist as you go along. So if you're looking at getting into the arts, either professionally or on the side, please continue to do so. It really will develop you in ways you may not have thought possible. I think there's a lot of room in Piqua for the growth of the arts. If you're considering moving in that direction, try to partner up with other organizations that are here to create events. And that's not just performing arts, visual arts as well, theater. I would love to see somebody pick up and run with the Piqua Players again. When I was a kid, they put on productions every year, so it'd be great to see some theater come back into the community as well. But I think it's really important to keep the arts alive in a local hometown setting, because a lot of people think that you got to move on to Broadway, or you have to move on to the big city, when there are great opportunities to create art right here and draw people into the smaller community. It's a very different feel. I started my teaching career in a small town on the other side of Columbus, moved to Lima, which was slightly bigger, and now I'm in Beaver Creek, just outside of Dayton. And the arts are present in all three types of communities, and they need to grow, and they each have their unique individual flavor that can be developed and you can experience and participate in. So the Piqua Civic Band has a website, which is piquacivicband.weebly.com, and we keep that pretty up to date about upcoming events. You'll find more information usually on our social media, which is Facebook. So if you go to Facebook and search on the Piqua Civic Band, you'll find us there, and that's the place we put out pretty much during the summer season. Every day there's something coming out about that week's concert. You'll find a live stream of the concert on Thursday nights, so that you can watch that concert if you can't come out to join us in person or don't feel comfortable coming out in an environment with the pandemic still going on. That opportunity is there. Indian Nation Station has been very nice to come out and video most of our concerts, and so there's usually a replay available a couple of days later as well. So we have those opportunities for you to get involved with us, as well as our Christmas concert, which comes up on Sunday, December 4th at Westminster Presbyterian Church. So there's lots of things happening with the Civic Band, and we would love to see more people come out and partake and be involved in our concerts. Families coming out together to experience that live music.